Hey guys, my name is Nick Sivrich. I'm a physical therapist, and I want to go over this week's question of the week. So this week's question of the week is about the shoulder, and it's about two different things, and people kind of get them confused. So, people will ask what the difference is between a shoulder dislocation and a shoulder separation. And it's a pretty common question, and people will come in to me and they'll say, "Oh, I dislocated my shoulder," and after evaluating them, it's actually a separation. So basically, we'll go over dislocation first, because that, I think, is more common. At least what I see is more common is a dislocation. And basically what happens is the ball of the humerus, the long bone here, that's in the socket, actually completely pops out of the joint. That's a dislocation, and that can be because of multiple things. Mainly, the main reason is due to injury. People sometimes fall; they kind of fall down onto their arm, and it kind of jams the ball up into the socket, or can dislocate posteriorly, anteriorly, down, and usually the most common area is it kind of dislocates anterior and inferior, so kind of down into the armpit. That's kind of the most common area that people dislocate it. And other ways they can dislocate it are from hypermobility. Females in particular are more hypermobile than males, just because females are more flexible, so they kind of have the tendency to dislocate certain joints. And usually, surgery can be involved in that. It all depends on how bad the dislocation was. If you have multiple dislocations, you could definitely have to have surgery for that. But most of the time, sling wear is done with that, as well as they come to physical therapy. We obviously try and strengthen that joint up and, get them back to what they were doing. But sometimes it's just not enough, so surgery can be an option for that. Now, a shoulder separation is actually at the AC joint, which is your acromioclavicular joint, which is right up here on your shoulder. And basically it is involved with the clavicle, your collarbone right here. It comes up to form a joint called the AC joint with the acromion, which is part of your shoulder blade. It comes up and kind of forms a little shelf here on your shoulder. And they kind of sit together. And basically what happens is, common injuries for that are when maybe a football player or just a person in general kind of falls down onto their shoulder, and one of the portions kind of just separates, and basically it kind of goes like that. And there's different grades depending on how high it is, but the most common sign of it is you'll see a big bump right here, right at the joint. There'll be a bump, and it'll actually be separated. And what happens is there's ligaments that on top of that, they kind of hold them together, and those ligaments will either overstretch or sometimes they tear completely. Surgery is rarely needed for a shoulder separation. Sometimes it is, but also sling wear is involved, meaning you're in a sling for a little while and then you're obviously coming to physical therapy. But usually that is not a surgical candidate. It can be, but very rarely. So I hope I kind of answered the difference between the two, because there is a big difference and people get them confused a lot. So I really, again, I hope that helped. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Like I said, check out my blog, nicksivrichpt.com. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram. Have a good day, guys. Thanks a lot.